Hey, good afternoon, everybody. It's Mike. It is Tuesday, the 12th of September. This is your daily recap. It's been a pretty quiet day here in the market overall, and we've been doing a lot of chatting. We had the Apple event, but overall, the market's done a lot of nothing and traded fairly tight. We had a very tight range up until we broke down here finally, just before 10:30. The first hour was like 60 cents wide. Then we came down, then we pushed up, and we had this. Look at this candle. I mean, and this is the stuff you really have to train yourself to be disciplined. There was no news, right? If this had been news on a candle and you chased it, I'd say, yep, I get it. There was some news there, right? Something good. There was no news on this candle, and you got this big pop all of a sudden. All they did is they ran some stops and they stopped a bunch of shorts out. And you can see it hung here and came right back in. You have to train yourself not to chase candles like this in a market like this when there's no news. And that's important. And then we came right back down. We put a new low of the day here, and here we are bouncing. But overall, very quiet. You can see volume here pretty low. We're currently sitting at what? 51 million shares. The oscillator's flatlining today. Um, you know, honestly, not a great candle today, but we didn't take out yesterday's high. We did take it out yesterday's low. So right now we have an outside candle to the downside and not a lot going on. So again, there's a couple places we continue to watch. One is you don't want to breach last Thursday's low, 442.75. You need to take out this range here of Friday's candle. I'm sorry, yesterday's candle, Monday's candle, so we can try to push through that gap. And until then, we're kind of stuck in this little range, and then you have this uptrend here. We have CPI tomorrow morning. We're expecting a hot print of 0.6 versus 0.2 last time because of the price of crude, as Doug pointed out. But core is supposed to be in line at 0.2% a month over month. So that's at 8:30. I'll open the room early for that. We have no earnings of note tonight, and overall pretty quiet day. What happened with the market today? Well, we opened up, and a lot of the names that were strong yesterday just got absolutely massacred. So we talked about Meta. If you trade and you follow some of the rules we always talk about, you wait for the 5-minute candle to close. Meta's 5-minute candle was wide and loose, never took out the high, and it was down. And even though it broke out yesterday, right back into the range. If you tried that with Microsoft, you might have gotten burned today, for what it's worth. Microsoft, here's your opening candle. It broke above it. As long as you put a stop in place here, somewhere else close to that, it did give a trade up, but it came back in and couldn't hold the breakout either, and it came back into the range. Amazon was smothered in puts today, all over the place, never took out the high. Google, their antitrust suit for the next 10 weeks starts today. They got beaten up a bit. Tesla did give a trade. Here's your opening 5-minute candle. 10 minutes in, 15 minutes in, right through it, and it gave a 20-minute trade. So there was a trade to the long side there if you were looking for it, but ultimately down, and you got a reversal candle here on Tesla today at this point. NVIDIA also took it out, pushed, but couldn't hold. AMD showed a lot of relative strength and is still one of the stronger names today, though it failed at the 8-day. Oh, what else out there today? Apple. Oh, yeah, Apple. Okay. Apple has been down all day. It was sold off right from the open for the most part. We listened to the event. I live streamed it. I talked about it live as it was going on. There's nothing wrong with what Apple's delivered here. They delivered a new watch and a new phone that are the best, biggest, and fastest and whatever that they've ever made, which of course they should be because they're, new technology. But the features are really just updates to the existing stuff they have. There was nothing really new here and nothing that is a needle mover. And what I mean by that is if you need a new phone and you're waiting, well, you go buy this phone, right? If your 3-year-old phone, you're going to go buy the brand new Apple phone. But if you have a year or 2-year-old phone, there's no reason to rush out and buy this phone or this watch. In addition to that, they did not raise their prices on the iPhone or the iPhone Plus or the base model of the iPhone Pro. They did raise it $100 on the higher end iPhone Pro. And if you think about that, that is basically a drop in the bucket because the high end Apple Pro is probably the smallest seller they have out there by far, by a very large margin, because it's their most expensive phone. So Apple beaten down here today. Dan Niles is going to go on CNBC later and tell you why it's a short. We'll see what happens there. The big surprise today came in the banks. Honest answer, this big surprise today came in the banks. And they had a conference going on, and you can see this big move up. And it really started with Wells Fargo started talking this morning. They didn't say anything bad. They weren't doing much. And then PNC came on. Now, PNC is a regional bank. They're here in New Jersey and a lot of other places. And right here, they came out and made one big statement. And that statement was that deposits are much better than expected. And then it was off to the races. And then all the other banks that came on were very kind of good talking to and bullish. And we had this big push up in PNC. JP Morgan took out the 8-day to the 21-day. Goldman Sachs pushed up to the 50-day. Wells Fargo, right, pushed up here above the 200-day briefly. And you saw this nice move there. Energy was strong today, breaking here above the high after yesterday's big down candle gap back up. We watched crypto this morning after Bitcoin's pop. There was no follow through. Coin actually gave a trade early today, couldn't hold it. And really, that's it. We had big flow in AMC today. It gave a pop. I actually traded this today. I feel dirty. I know. I'm sorry. But I did trade AMC briefly and made a little bit of money, not much. Overall, moved up, but not much going on here, not big hold. So with that said, it's Tuesday. We have tomorrow CPI at 8:30 in the morning for you guys who are members. I'll open the room early. For you who are not, you want to join us, link in the description below. And with that, I wish you guys a wonderful, wonderful evening.